Okay, so to check your tire pressure, first you go over and you check your car label to see what it should be. And this one says 30 psi, which is per square inch of pressure. So then you go over to the tire, you unscrew the cap that's on the top that keeps the air from escaping while you're driving. Set it down, make sure you remember where you set it, and then you press the air pressure gauge against the bead for as long as it takes for the air to stop sounding like it's escaping.
So we just replaced the serpentine belt on my car. This is the old belt. We can see that it's worn down, it's very flexible. We replaced it by using this diagram right here. First, we had to take off the old belt, so we pushed down on the belt, took it off one of the hinges, and the rest just came undone. Then we put the new one on using the same diagram. So this is the belt. Obviously it goes around and it has to come all the way down to the bottom over there to the crankshaft valve. Comes up to the tensioner, which is right here. Runs out to over here, right at this little pump right here. And it goes back down to the idle, and then comes back up for the AC where we begin. It's not very easy process, but you can do it on your own. It's cheaper.
Okay, so the first step in the oil change is to get all the supplies, unless it's your first time getting an oil change, in which case you want to get a friend who already knows what they're doing, so that you can get advice along the way. So now we got the motor oil that we need for our specific car with the correct viscosity and all that. You got the shop towels, you got the oil filter, an oil pan to put the oil in, and then a funnel to make your life easier when trying to pour it back, the oil pan back in, or pour the new oil in. And then you got the wrench for unscrewing what you need to unscrew, and then you got the 2 containers that you'll pour the old oil in afterwards. Okay, so the next step is just to find where your motor oil goes into. Then you take the cap off, which we already did, and you have it right here, and then stick a shop towel in the hole so that no dust or anything flies into it while you're working on it.
Alright, so I'm just about to take off the little bolt for the oil to spill out of. Here we go. Gotta get torque underneath it. It can be very difficult at times, as it's right now. Here we go. More oil is going to start coming out. Want to make sure you have the catch pin right underneath it. Here we go. See? Just like that, and the oil comes right on out. Still got my drill bit right there. Pretty easy. You'll just wait until your oil stops coming out before you do anything else. Alright.
So after you unscrew the drill bit, you wait for a little bit, wait for it to be done, to stop dripping, and then next you probably want to screw the drill bit in, even though it's kind of a choice whether you want to take the oil filter or put the drill bit back in. But we're going to do the drill bit so that we do not forget about it.
Alright, so we're going to wipe and plug the plug back in. Here we go. Wiping it, getting the plug back in there, and starting to making sure that we do not cross the threads. That's very important because it will damage your oil compartment. Here we go. I'm just finger tightening it all the way as tight as I can get it to go. We're almost getting there. Then I want to grab my ratchet. Gonna switch the side to it. Make it so it's righty tighty. Here we go. Now I'm just tightening it. Yep, that's tightening it. Here we go. All the way until it's maximum tight. Here we go. Getting tighter. You always want to make sure that you get it as tight as you can get it. Not too tight, just like the right amount of tight. I'm going to try to get a few more. Alright, and it is sealed tight again. Alright, so I'm just going to twist off the old oil filter. Here we go, twisting to the left. There's going to be some oil that starts leaking out. Alright. Just going to keep going. Make sure you have a firm grip on it, or else it's going to drop straight down and spill the oil that leaks out. So I got the oil filter right now. It's just leaking out all this oil. Just got to wait for it. as you can see, I wasn't thinking 24 all the way through, so I kind of had to drop it down. Kind of made a mess down here. Just gonna get some paper towels and clean it up. Just gotta wait until it starts dripping. That's about it. Alright, so I have the new filter and the old filter. What I want to do with them, I'm just gonna put the top right onto the other top just to get it lubricated. Just like that. Gonna get all of it lubricated so it goes on easier. Alright? As you can see, it's now lubricated with oil.
So the next thing to do is to take out the oil filter since you put the drill bit back in first. So what Zach's going to do is he's going to reach down to the oil filter and just twist it out and pull it up because he has enough room in his engine to be able to do that.
Alright, so right now I'm back underneath the car. And you see this orange thing in here, this is my new oil filter. I'm just installing it right on top of where the old one went. Gotta make sure you don't cross the threads again because it will ruin the filter. All I'm doing is screwing it in right now. Screwing. Once I get it finger tight, I'm going to come back up top and I'm going to tighten it some more from up there. Alright, we're getting there. Gotta make sure it stays on.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, to figure out how much oil our engine requires, we went to the back of the owner's manual of our for our car, and it would say right under engine oil capacity, and it says 4.5 quarts. So we went here, we got a 5-quart bottle of oil. So you look down the sides right here, and there's a line for every single quart. So we're going to stop right about here, and then once we get to about this line left of oil, because you can see through, we're going to slow down to make sure we get exactly half and not too much.
Alright, so I'm going to pour the oil back in. I have this white towel around it just in case I miss. Doesn't get anything else. Here we go. Oop, see, just missed. Go figure. Okay, just pouring it in. Gonna go ahead and check where it's at. Still got a lot of room.
Okay, so after you're done doing all of the stuff replacing the oil in the engine, you come with your extra oil that's old and used. You pour it back into a container, and then you return it to a dealer because they'll recycle the oil.